All right. Welcome back to Terror Tales of LA, the podcast where we talk everything horror and I guess Los Angeles related
Yeah.
content.
Yeah. Welcome back.
I'm Adri Diaz.
I'm Quentin Ridings.
And we just took a little break from the holidays.
Yeah.
How was your holidays?
Good. How were yours?
Good, thank you.
Well, I was gonna ask. Well, also like in this point, like not just holidays, like Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Do we have any big resolutions this year?
I wouldn't say big resolutions like that because how you said it was kind of weird. But I would say I have some big resolutions, yeah.
Okay. Like
Starting off hot.
yeah, like being nicer to your co-host.
No, that's not on. That's not there.
Should be the top.
It's nowhere to be seen, actually. Sorry, I had a sip of piping hot coffee, and I'm feeling fucking rowdy.
You had a piping hot sip of bitch juice.
I'm sipping piping hot coffee in a Bumble, like the app cup. This is a good mug. This is a good mug.
Please sponsor us, Bumble. We would love your business.
Oh my god, have you ever been on Bumble?
No. I don't really use dating apps.
You don't like the one where the girl has to message you first?
No. I'm a hunter.
Ew! Your eyes went black when you said that, like all black. New Year's resolutions. I think I'm just trying to pick up the resolutions I had last year.
Right.
I'm trying to journal more. I'm
Okay.
trying to prioritize mental health. I'm trying to be. This is a big one this year. I'm trying to go to bed early.
Oh, like what's early though?
I don't know.
Like what's
I'm
reasonable?
trying.
I think it's not so much because sleep is so important, especially
So important.
just for like long term health stuff. I think it's like not when you go to bed. As long as you get the 8 hours is that's the key.
And I think any more than that is actually pretty bad.
You can totally oversleep.
Oh, I literally, that's been my whole life. I've always had bad sleeping habits. I've always had like pretty bad anxiety, but I didn't even know I had anxiety until like I was like 10 years ago. And then I just thought like, oh, everyone feels like this, like, you know?
Yeah.
And then realizing that was like affecting my sleep, and I was just always a bitch because I was always so tired
Yeah.
and mentally,
And it was everyone's problem.
and it was everyone's fucking problem. Not mine. I was having fun.
I don't know. I feel like my sweet spot right now that I'm like, in my like geriatric middle age,
Okay.
is like 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. is my like golden sleep time.
Whoa, that just seems so late to me.
But it's like but it's 8 hours.
Yes, and you're right. I think for me, I would love to go to bed at an early time, but then also like wake up super early. I want to be one of those people that like go to the gym first
Right.
thing in the morning. And it's like really hard because I've never lived a life like
Yeah.
that.
Step one, join a gym.
Oh my god, but I don't want to pay for a gym.
Yeah. Does anyone have any like hacks to just like keep doing trial memberships around Los Angeles?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that would actually be a good idea.
Just never pay for it. It's like,
Never
yeah,
pay for
1
it.
week, please, and then you never see me like again.
I do know all the free things you get for your birthday, and I've been meaning to do like a whole like birthday free gift things. Like you go to Starbucks, you go to Crumble, like you go to all these different places, and you get a free thing for your birthday. But you have to sign up for
Yeah.
their program first.
But ahead of time usually.
So
Like,
I
you can't
actually
do a day
have-
of.
I actually have 5 months until.
I will say,
do
like,
that.
obviously, like, because it is January after all, this is the time to do a gym because they're gonna give like the best deals.
That's true. That's true. And I have been kind of pissed off today because I've been wearing these pants all day and they keep unbuttoning. Like they keep popping open.
Yeah.
And I had an audition earlier. Oh my god, that also pissed me off. I had a call back earlier, and my pants kept popping.
Not on purpose. Not for comedic effect.
Not for comedic effect, or not to like really secure the role, you know. It's actually a pretty funny story. Can I tell you my story?
Yeah. Let's go.
I had an audition today, which I guess is very LA. It's in the theme of the
Yes.
show. It was a callback actually, and I got it a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was just so interesting. I was like, I've never had a callback like 2 weeks in advance.
Right.
And the audition was for Journeys, the like those the shoes in the mall.
Wait. Are they, like,
Journeys.
kind of vaguely. I haven't been to a mall in a while.
They're just like shoes. It's
Is
just like
this-
they sell like Nikes, they sell New Balances.
So it's just like a Foot Locker.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Got
But
it.
it is kind of more for a younger audience. So I did audition to play a 19-year-old.
They're trying to get young people back to malls because it feels like in my mind the young person thing is just you buy them offline.
Well, you could buy the Journey shoes
Oh, just so they're not just a retail spot. They have their brand.
Grandpa, where have you been? Yeah, it's just a store.
But like
You're like overthinking it.
Because like, well, Foot Locker doesn't have their original Foot Locker shoes. They just sell like Nikes and Adidas and Puma and that kind of thing. That's why I thought Journeys was. I'm not.
How do you know all this Foot Locker knowledge, but you don't even know what a Journeys is?
Because I used to hoop.
Yeah, right.
And it was a big deal. The one time a year I would go pick up my shoes for the basketball season.
When? High school?
What?
High school?
Well, starting in middle school.
How tall were you in middle school?
Probably like 5'8", 5'9".
So then you just didn't grow after that?
Yeah, I only got like a couple more inches.
No, I'm just kidding. You're like exactly what, like 6 foot?
Around there, like a true, like 6 foot. So anyone who is shorter than me and claims to be 6 foot is lying, ladies. Do not trust them. I'm actually 5'11" and 3/4 without shoes on. So I'm like a good test to see if your man's lying to you.
Okay, anyway. So I had an audition or the callback, and I in my head just like assumed, because the audition was all improvised.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, pretend that you are with your best friend who happens to be a Sasquatch, and you guys both work at Journeys. And so I just kind of assumed, okay, like I'll just like make something up. And thank God I happened to check like last night, not last night, but like 4 p.m. before I went into work. And I saw that I had like 8 pages of dialogue. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like so stressed out because I had to go to work.
Yeah.
I was like trying to read the script while I was working. And of course, everybody and their fucking mother went to my damn restaurant to eat some fucking sliders and shit.
They knew they wanted you to fail.
I guess. And I was like so tired, and like part of me was like, I'm gonna go to bed early tonight, because the audition, or oh my God, I keep saying audition. The callback was this morning at 10 a.m. And so I was just like, cramming those lines in. And I did actually think it was pretty funny that I thought I was still auditioning for The Friend again, but they actually had me read for the Sasquatch, which I was like, do I just have like big Sasquatch energy?
Yeah. If anything, actually, I think in the audition, if your button had popped like visibly, that would have been funny. Because like,
I know, I did think about that.
Because like Sasquatches wouldn't wear people clothes very well.
Right. I did think about that. Luckily, it was like pretty easy. I just like crammed it all in my head because it was very sketchy, and I feel like with sketch comedy, that's like really easy for me to absorb.
Yeah.
So I just like get the joke, so
Sure.
I understand it better. And it's like those auditions where I have no idea what I'm saying is the ones where I'm like, I can't remember the first word, So yeah, it went well. But then when I was leaving, I saw this fucking beautiful 6'1" queen.
I'm already mad.
I know. She came in, and I was like, God dang it, she's gonna get it. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, why did I even audition for this? Because they did ask me, how tall are you for the slate? And I was like, oh, I'm 5'4", but almost 5'5". And I was just like, why did I cram all those lines in my head? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, oh, she's gonna get it, or someone who's a lot taller.
They're just
than me.
gonna get like one of those like young WNBA players to do it. And I'm gonna say it, ladies, you're getting greedy. 6 foot is tall enough. Wait, what do you need those 3 inches for? Okay.
I was so mad, and then I was just like, oh, okay. And so yeah, now I'm here. Now I'm here getting pissed off, drinking my coffee. What'd you call it earlier?
Bitch juice.
Is this some internet reference I don't know?
No.
Oh.
So I felt like you could also apply it to wine.
Oh, yeah.
But
I almost feel like coffee would be opposite, though, right? It would be not bitch juice because you're grumpy in the morning. And it's like, don't talk to me until I have my morning juice.
It's just giving you energy.
Yeah, I am riled up.
Yeah.
I'm also riled up thinking about that beautiful, scrumptious
Sasquatch woman.
I'm just like mad because I'm like, they need to be more picky, especially like at callbacks and auditions. Yeah. I'm like already seeing it. I'm like, oh, why would they cast me?
And I'm
so
mad.
short.
I'm also mad because like I should have been 6'1". I genuinely believe my life would have been wildly different if I was like 2 inches taller.
You think?
Yeah.
Positive or negatively?
Oh, positive. Like, there's no way.
Do you think you would have?
There's no way guys' lives don't get better the taller you get.
But do you think
until you hit 6'5"? That's too tall.
Okay. Do you think you would have played basketball professionally?
I would have played it for longer. I would have made more connections. I would have been more confident, and I would have gotten into business.
But what if?
And I'd be like a crypto guy.
But what if, no? What if it was like a butterfly effect thing, and actually, if you were to join the NBA, you would have been on that helicopter?
I'd have been the one saying, "Hey, I bet you can't do a flip."
Not in the helicopter.
Yeah.
Quentin.
Oh, you walk me all the way up to this joke, and I'm the one that's taking it too far. Just because in this scenario, I'm covering the pilot's eyes.
That's so fucked up. I need some different New Year's resolutions. You're crying.
Yeah, for Kobe.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
I'm crying for only his daughter.
I'm crying for the daughter because Kobe. Maybe
Kobe, fuck off.
you might have had some. You might have done something way back when in Colorado that maybe
Maybe not so chill.
maybe not so chill, man.
God, I hate men. Anyways,
Oh,
yeah.
Speaking of my resolutions,
Yes, exactly.
I had a pretty simple one, which is post more.
Yes, you did say that. Where people usually opposite.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, I want to be on this phone less." It's like I need to be less of like a lurker. I need to be like in that big self promotion mode, because everyone who I see like is more successful around me. Like, yes, they're talented, but not so much more talented. Like that's the only reason their like lives are going well. It's just like, oh, they're just constantly flooding the world with content.
It's true.
And that's what people want.
It's funny because actually that was kind of a New Year's resolution for me last year, was to not post as much, not try to seek that external validation. But then I swear to God, I've been booking a lot less. Because a lot of times people, like, one of my biggest jobs that I've ever got hired to do, they just messaged me on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you're so funny. Would you want to do? I didn't even have to audition. I got to work with big actors.
And I was gonna say, like, I've heard from bigger actors, like sometimes if it comes down to them and another equally big actor, they just look at web presence. Who's got more followers might literally be the difference maker between like a big paycheck or no paycheck.
Yeah, I don't have that many followers compared to like very successful online presences, but
Yet.
Yes, that's true, manifesting. But I just did have this one random producer follow me because he just thought I was funny. And then he like recommended me, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's so nice of you."
Yeah.
He's probably trying to fuck, but
Lorne Michaels.
I wish Lauren Michaels was trying to fuck me.
Adri, won't you come over here and let me unbutton your pants?
You literally sound like Dr. Evil.
You're showing your age.
I mean, who's Dr. Evil?
No, don't. Michael Myers, famously of SNL, modeled the Dr. Evil character off Lorne Michaels.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's why he sounds like that.
Oh, then that's a really good impression.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that like so like it was like a fun joke for like anyone who like knows Lorne in that circle. Like it's like, oh, he's the evil guy that was running SNL when Michael Myers was there.
Oh, and then who's supposed to be Mini-Me?
I mean, that's just a fun. That's just like literally for like a James Bond thing, I think.
Oh, right,
that's like
right.
because it was a parody. It's like they took and stuff, but like the voice specifically was him being Lorne Michaels.
Oh, wow. I'll be damned.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
And so that's who was in your DMs.
Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil.
Mini-Me, actually.
Yeah. was offering you $1 million for feet pics.
Oh, I would so do that.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. We were actually just talking about this before the pod. I was like, I wish I could sell feet pics, but I have like a really flat foot.
Which is like the woman's, like the equivalent of like a flat chest.
Yeah.
In the foot guy circle.
But then Quentin had a little sparkle in his eye, and he literally said, oh, I have great arches. And I was like, okay, here's the plan. I'm going to be the face of this whole scheme and be like, hey, who wants to buy my foot pics? And then cut away to your foot.
Me stomping on cakes.
We gotta shave your toes.
Yeah, shave my toes.
Shave the top of your foots.
Give me a little coat of gloss.
Coat of gloss. We'll get you some like white toenail polish.
Yeah, something like kind of neutral.
Oh, a little toe ring. Yeah, I think a little toe ring.
A little toe ring will sell it.
Cause your feet. Oh, you do kind of have big feet though.
That might also be like a thing though.
Sure.
I mean.
Well, I heard they just like I've heard they like feminine feet.
But there's some real freaks in that community.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it's time I put this genetic defect to good use, because having a high arch sucks as you get older.
Oh, yeah, that does.
It hurts more to be on your feet.
I thought it would be opposite because I feel actually I don't have that much foot pain, but I heard that like since I don't have any. See, look at this shit. Flat as a board. I heard that that's like worse.
I think it has to do with maybe also wearing shoes over over your life. We might, I hate to be like give points to like the barefoot community, but it might be better for us if we just weren't wearing shoes all the time.
I could totally see you dating a girl who was a barefoot girl.
Barefoot crystal girl.
Yeah, you kind of have.
Yeah, I like my RFK light type girl.
Yeah, light.
Put it in.
Ew.
I'm ready.
That's what you get. You hurt your throat, and that's what you get.
I hurt my throat. How does he talk like that? What happened? Did the worm eat his vocal cords?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
It was snacking on him.
I mean, there are a couple things I do agree with what he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
No more Red 40.
No more vaccines.
Yes, get rid of them. Sorry.
Yeah, you are always talking about Dr. Fauci.
Shut up. No, I know he's trying to ban some stuff in our food, because I do think our food's all fucked.
Yeah, I would no. Some of like the more like harmful like chemical dyes and things like that. Yeah, we could get rid of. But if he ever talks for real about taking out sodi from the population,
you're gonna Luigi him.
We're gonna no. He's. I'm gonna take it a step. We're gonna Jan 6 him.
Oh, today is actually we are recording on January 6th.
Yeah, me and my legion of other like hot women. when he takes away Diet Coke, are gonna storm the Capitol.
Yes, hot women
it's
do
over.
love Diet Coke.
Yeah, it's over.
I could totally see you storming the Capitol with like 100 other hot girls.
me and Bella Hadid.
Yeah.
Back to back with Uzis.
Yeah. Oh,
Try
man.
it. Try it, RFK.
Speaking of blood-sucking
Politicians, yeah.
We have a very fun episode we're going to talk about. I feel like there's been a lot of buzz online by the time this episode comes out. I'm sure everyone's already moved on. But
No, I literally read this morning. It's crossed the $100 million mark.
Good for them.
Like, it's like a genuine hit. Like, it's like, I think they did not predict how massive this was going to be.
It is great
that we have like a like clear auteur, like he has like movies that are his movies you can point to and go, that's a Robert Eggers film.
Mm-hmm. Big fan of his work.
Yeah, it's like clearly an art movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a huge like mainstream release, and to see it succeed the way it is nice to see that, even if you don't maybe love the movie. If like someone or someone's in the room feel this way, it's nice to see it win.
It's so funny because I have been hearing such mixed things. I've been mainly hearing praise.
Yes.
And then I have had like a handful of people, say it wasn't their favorite. It's not like they hated it, but it was good, but it wasn't great.
I have not heard anyone hate it.
Yes.
Which is nice.
That is nice.
That being said, we saw it on Christmas Day, which was great.
The most godless day.
The most godless day of the year. At the most godless place in Los Angeles.
The Americana.
At the Brand. Which I believe is what's his name? Something Caruso property. The asshole who ran for mayor.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Big real estate piece of shit.
Okay.
But he like owns all those outside malls. Like him, like he owns like the one in Culver City with the other AMC.
Oh yes.
Where they're playing The Brutalist, starring Adrian Brody.
Is that the one where he pretends to be Jewish?
I don't think there's a world where Adrian Brody can do anything but be Jewish.
And he's like not Jewish, right?
Oh, he's Adrian Brody.
Okay, we're gonna edit this out.
Yes.
Oh, I swear to God, I thought he wasn't.
Famous non-Jewish guy, Adrian Brody.
I thought he wasn't.
Well, I'm trying to think. What? No.
No, I could have sworn. No, who am I thinking of then? There's some. Maybe I'm thinking of Bradley Cooper.
Okay, that's
yeah.
That's more like that feels less of a stretch.
Because didn't he play a Jewish guy in something?
Yeah. Okay. Like
okay. That's where I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, all white men look the same to me.
Yeah.
I mixed them up.
Mm-hmm.
Please forgive me.
Yeah.
white men community.
Please, white men, please.
Please, for the love of God.
And we had a very positive theater experience because I've heard like that's the complaint is like people taking out their phones or talking.
Mm-hmm.
I think we went in the middle of the day, and that's like
Was it the middle of the day?
it was like 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
And like that was
4:20.
Like, that was prime time for movie sickos who were like actually on good behavior.
And on Christmas.
Yeah. Well, but I've also heard people who went on Christmas that did not have as good of experiences. I've seen people posting about it and like seeing people with their phones out or talking or laughing at weird times.
It's so funny. I ran into so many people who were in the same theater as us.
Yeah.
And I was like looking around and I'm like, oh, it's like all the comedians I know who probably don't have healthy relationships with their family. And so that's why they're seeing a scary movie on Christmas Day.
It's basically people in their 20s and 30s who are like in Los Angeles without their family.
Yeah. We were all there.
Also there.
We were all there at the
there.
Americana
But
at 4 p.m.
I have a wonderful relationship with my family.
You do, but you just don't visit your family that often.
Well, I'm poor.
Yeah, sucks.
And I like to go like...
Not for long with those high arches.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'm like more of like a pro. Like, let's just go fly in February. That's way cheaper.
Sure.
Than like the holidays. And usually I'm working. It sucks. I'm usually working.
Right. You didn't work this year though, but you still just didn't go.
I finally worked at a place I was closed.
Yeah. So we went to the Americana. We got some Christmas snacks.
Get some snacks.
You know?
we went to, was it La Bernardin?
Oh yeah, we went to like the only cafe that was like open in like miles.
Yeah. It was it's like little sandwiches, soups, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. But like what did we have in the theater? We had like popcorn.
Classic. Popcorn, soda, Dippin' Dots.
We did have some Dippin' Dots. I did splurge on that.
Yeah, and then some like a bag of like Reese's Pieces.
That's literally the best Christmas feast one can even ask for.
I'm a little salty. We don't normally go to that Americana. We usually we're more of like an AMC at City Walk crowd.
Because we're a bunch of lazy fucks and we like our recliners.
And I like the theater going audience there. I can trust them a little more because it's more out of the way. People pay $5 for it, so it's not as like it keeps the riffraff out.
Oh.
Who can afford?
I know that's not the first time you said that.
Yeah. who don't want to pay $5 for parking. But they always have Bunch of Crunch there, and that was my big gripe about AMC.
They always have what?
Bunch of Crunch.
Okay.
That's my go-to like popcorn food. Like,
I see.
It's puffed rice and chocolate, so it's great over like mixed in with the popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Reese's Pieces are good, but I don't like them like in my popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Also, now that I'm older, like I do like Reese's Pieces a lot more, but I used to not like them because it should be a 50-50 split of peanut butter in the candy coating and then chocolate in the candy coating. That's a Reese's. A Reese's is not just peanut butter. And it bugs me.
Okay. I believe you. I believe that it bugs
Nestle.
you.
Nestle Corporation.
Right.
I mean, they're also monsters, so I don't think that doesn't matter.
They're all monsters. Oh, okay. Okay. The truth shall set you free. Our producer there just wrote a sign. He just telegraphed me a sign that says Adrian Brody is actually, his mother's Catholic and then his father's Jewish, but he doesn't identify with either because actually technically the mom has to be Jewish to pass it on. Technically.
Technically speaking, but doesn't matter if you're ascribing to something, it's like you are that. He is Jewish.
We're gonna get a little political here.
Yeah. It's like, no, you are Jewish.
Who's to say?
Genetics.
Oh, you're starting to talk like RFK right now.
Yeah, he's also always going on about that.
Actually, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming.
Let's assume he doesn't have good political beliefs.
Yes, exactly. But anyways, we open up to the trailer scene with Lily Rose Depp and that big, beautiful forehead of hers.
Yeah, like you literally could like throw an IMAX movie up on that thing. Also, this whole movie had like big old forehead representation, which as a guy with a big forehead, I'm pro.
You're pro, and it's okay to make fun of a woman's appearance because she is she's insanely gorgeous and she's a Nepo baby.
Yeah, her life is only ever been charmed and is only going to continue to be, if not more so.
I do kind of hate, okay, so hate's a strong word. I guess I'm bitter towards Nepo babies. Mm-hmm. You know this about me. Like, if I find out anyone is a nepo baby, I'm always like, fuck off. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to hear it. I just hate that she just doesn't own it. A lot of these nepo babies just don't own it.
They're like, oh no, I worked for this.
Biggest eye roll of my life.
It's like I've been in the trenches. It's like you made a call. Your parents made a call.
Your parents made a call. Sure, you trained for the movie, but that's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. And it's like people are over here like working night and day just to afford that training to
Yeah, you're foregoing like luxuries, or you're dipping into debt to like take these classes in hopes that this will then translate as like it's an investment.
It's an investment. It's not guaranteed.
Yeah. Whereas it's like you get to take all these like fancy classes, and even if you fail, your life was gonna be fine.
Yeah. You just take another one.
You're just gonna be a rich influencer or a rich model or something.
I know. That was like a big thing that I literally did not realize until maybe a couple years ago, that a lot of actors on set have like their coaches there with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's why they're always good, because they're paying someone to be like, oh, you need to tweak this or you need to do that. Let's like work specifically on this. And I was like, oh, that makes me feel a lot less bad about myself, because I'm like, damn, they get booked. In my head, I was always like, oh, they get booked and then they're just perfect throughout the movie. Like, how do they do that? It's annoying.
Yeah,
it's so annoying. And yeah, it was like some article she wrote about how she was like, you guys don't give shit to doctors when their parents are doctors, or whatever she said.
Well, for starters, doctors help people.
Yes, exactly.
I'm like, okay, sure. But like doctors have to still like their like path to being a doctor is so much more like regimented, and like it's a much harder to become a doctor than it is to become an actor.
Exactly.
So if you went through all that, it's good. Who cares what your parents did? You became a doctor. You spent 12 years in school. Mm-hmm. No actor spent 12 years being an actor.
And yeah, someone can argue and say like, oh, well, their parents are rich, and so they like, they probably paid their rent, things like that, while they went to school. And then also, a lot of times doctors will get, their family into through the door in the sense of hiring other doctors.
Right, but end of the day, doctors are a net positive for the world. I think actors at best are a net neutral.
Right. You can't compare you fucking screaming and ripping a corset to a brain surgeon.
Out there popping a lock and...
She was popping and locking.
Like for like half the dang movie. She watched Possession one time.
She watched one Tucci music video.
Yeah.
But overall, I didn't know how to feel about her performance, and a lot of people are praising it.
A lot of people love it. But I was thinking, maybe it's just me getting older, but I think it's like some of the praise from young people tends to be from a place of they just haven't been around as much, so they haven't seen as much. Mm-hmm. So this feels like revelatory in a way that if you had seen other older versions of like similar performances, you'd be like less blown away.
Sure.
I just referenced Possession.
Yeah.
That's like a movie from the 80s.
Right.
Clearly, I think she draws influence from like down to like some of the movements. It's like, well, if you haven't seen that, this is your first time seeing it. Maybe you are like really impressed by it.
And you had mentioned too that she kind of had too much iPhone face, right?
I think because I totally get both like the argument of like, oh, she does look like a kind of like 1800s waif.
Yes.
When her face is like in repose, like just neutral when she's not moving it. Like, oh, if you were to paint her, she would be fit right in.
Right.
Some of these, the way when she's speaking and some of like the micro expressions that she's doing feel far too modern for me. Like people's faces.
Because she looks modern, or because what she's doing is modern?
Both. Well, I mean, it's like because she looks and different, like does.
Yes.
But it's like it feels far too modern. It feels like
Sure.
she too much of the moment.
Yes, I definitely think at first I was like, oh yeah, she does have like that timeless look. But after you had mentioned that and I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, I guess there were some things. And apparently, I mean, not that even it's that big of a deal, but like her eyebrows were like full blown, like thick, which I was like, oh, perfect. She like fits right in. But apparently I saw this like one TikTok that mentioned like, actually they had like really thin eyebrows back then to actually make your forehead appear bigger, like you had a big brain.
Yeah.
So she does actually have that.
People back then like, yeah, you want to have a big old forehead because like, yeah, that guy's smart.
That guy has some ideas.
His head is full of brains.
Head full of brains.
Oh man, I'd just been talking shit back then.
You'd have your bangs pushed back the
I
whole
would
time.
have slicked my hair back, and people just be like assume I knew what I was talking about.
One time. One time, Quentin had his hair slicked back because I had a 1920s themed birthday party,
Uh-huh.
and he scared everyone.
Not
Because
scare everyone.
you were pretty drunk, and
Yeah.
it was like the first party of the pandemic since the
Post
pandemic.
pandemic, so everyone like
And
didn't know
so
how to
everyone
behave.
was still like kind of anxious and weird,
Mm-hmm.
and you were just like on one, and you would not stop dancing like a fool, and then you kept talking to everyone, and I could tell people were getting scared, and I think it mainly had to do with your hair slicked back.
I'm sure that's what's
So
it.
don't do that again.
Yeah. They just weren't ready for the power of my thoughts.
They could see them.
Like yeah, like they could like veins pulsing out of it.
Yeah, they could see the imprint of the words that you're thinking.
Yeah. I was thinking real hard that night.
You were thinking a little too hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I at first I was just like, I don't know if I like Lily Rose's Depp's performance. A lot of it seemed like really big,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know. To me, I just like wasn't really believing what she was saying. I could like see it in her eyes, but I kind of was having a hard time believing her. And again, it might be like a director move, but like when she would talk, she would always like speak out like we were like in a play, like, you know.
She was
And
talking to the back row.
she was like talking in the back row, and I'm just like, girl, you're talking to your man right next to you. Why are you
Mm-hmm.
not even looking at him? I don't know. And again, that could just be like a director thing. That could be just be like, oh, I want you to speak out.
Yeah.
So who knows? But to me, that kind of threw me off. So we have Lily Rose Depp,
Mm-hmm.
and then we get introduced her man's. I forget what's his name.
Nicholas Holt.
His name's Thomas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thomas in the movie. And
Nicholas Holt if you're nasty.
I don't get the reference. What?
No, this is good. This is you being young.
Oh.
It was like a Janet Jackson thing.
What happened with Janet
It
Jackson?
was like a lyric.
Oh.
It's like Miss Jackson if you're Janet. It's like Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Oh, okay. Your eyebrows twitching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Remember when her titty was popped out?
Yeah,
For the Super
it was a
Bowl?
big deal.
It was a huge deal.
She had that big old like isn't a nipple ring? It was like a nipple like ornament.
It was a nipple ring, but it was like at the time pretty popular. It was like those squishy little balls with like the little squishy spikes. on them.
Like I said, it looked like little.
I
Sun,
definitely had
like a little sun.
see something like that. Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
have earrings like that I got at Claire's, but that was like straight up on her nip.
So what was supposed to happen?
He said, "I'm about to have you naked." By the end of this song,
oh.
so that's what was supposed to happen.
Well, in that regard, he failed. There's like so much left.
yeah. Anyways, we won't get into that. We'll save that for another episode.
for our I love the 2000s.
I didn't actually know the story. I've never seen Nosferatu, like the original.
Oh, okay. Which is on YouTube. I actually watched it in anticipation for this.
Because there's a silent film version, and isn't there like another version?
They did like one in the I think 79, but it was like kind of like a meta thing where you had the director like it was like both the movie and like the making of the movie, like in quotes.
Oh, interesting.
And like where you had the actor turned out to be a vampire playing Nosferatu.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so it was like it wasn't like a 1-for-1 remake.
Wait, what was it called?
I think it was just either called Nosferatu or like some something with
Nosferatu goes to Hollywood.
yeah, something with Nosferatu in the title. But I watched the original.
Okay.
And I mean, first and foremost, you know the story behind Nosferatu, right? Like the making of.
Mm-mm.
It was by this guy, French director W.F. Marnau, who was like a German expressionist. They couldn't secure the rights to Dracula, but they went ahead and made this anyway.
Oh.
And it was so much of like,
So Dracula was first.
oh, well, Bram Stoker's Dracula is from the 1800s.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Or maybe the early 1900s. I want to say like 1880s.
Okay.
Point being, it's been around for a while. It's probably at least 30 or 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So his widow, who was still alive, sued this movie for like copyright infringement because it's such like essentially is Dracula.
Right.
That they won, and they won. She won the lawsuit, and all prints of Nosferatu were ordered to be destroyed. And if someone hadn't broke the law and saved like a negative of this film, it would be like a lost movie.
Whoa.
Like
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, so all the prints today that exist are like the reasons we can even see it exists because someone saved a copy.
Oh my God. So that means there would have never been that sick callback that SpongeBob would
We
do?
would never. SpongeBob would be. No, who knows who had been flicking the lights? Been like it would have been like fucking like Frankenstein or something.
Ew, no.
It doesn't work.
No, thank you.
Urgh.
Yeah, they'd hear him the whole time.
Frankenstein.
It's pretty good. Okay, interesting. No, I didn't know that. And I think that was nice for me to kind of go in blind, kind of experiencing it firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously knew who Nosferatu was. I almost thought it was opposite. I thought it was Dracula was based on Nosferatu.
Which makes I could see it like confuse that because essentially one beat Dracula to film by like maybe 10 years because I think the first like American Dracula was like Bela Lugosi, and I think that wasn't until like the 1930s. So this had been out since the 20s.
I see. Okay, yeah, and so I went in not knowing anything, but then I found myself kind of lost, and maybe that's because I didn't know anything. And there was like moments. I think the movie was good, not great, like I said, but there was like at least an hour that it just dragged. And I hate when movies do that.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a way to do pacing, slow pacing, but deliberate in a way it makes sense to do so. And I think we both talked about it after. It was right around the time he finally got in the boat.
Yes.
And we like realized like it's like, oh, he's just now heading to the town.
Yeah.
And it's been like over an hour. It's like that feels way too long.
Yeah.
I want to see his ass in Europe, in like Germany, way sooner than that.
Right. And so like the storyline is Thomas has a crazy hot wife, the big forehead, and then this guy his boss tells him like, oh, you need to take a trip. He's like a real estate agent, right?
Essentially a real estate agent.
Yeah. He's like, you gotta take this trip. You
It's
gotta sell this
important
house.
because if you do, I'll give you like make you partner, give you a raise. Like in Thomas's mind, he was saying like, this is what I want for us.
Right, exactly.
To secure our future.
And she was telling him like, no, stay. I keep having all these like crazy dreams.
I got these fucked up dreams.
Yeah.
I like our shitty house.
Yeah, I like our shitty house.
Just stay behind and like let's be newlyweds, and we just like smash and stay in bed all day.
Oh, their room stunk.
Yeah, like 1800 style.
Oh, yeah, that shit stunk.
All the windows are foggy on the inside.
Stop.
Squeegee them after.
Yeah, and realizing later that that's kind of like a metaphor for like the patriarchy in a sense of the man, he was comparing his life to his friend who was like born into generational wealth.
Yeah, which he didn't take. Did not seem to like put together.
Right. Yeah, and so he's like, I want to be like my friend who's super rich.
His wife's happy.
He's got
2 little perfect kids.
2 perfect kids, and he's like, I want that.
I want that for us, which
Yes.
is like a nice thought, but listen to your partner. If your partner is just telling you that's not important to me,
right?
You got to be on the same page with that.
Yeah, and so it's for him.
Yeah.
At that point, it's for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes on this voyage to find this.
Back in the day, it's like that's a voyage. Like nowadays, you don't think about like he had to like get on a horse and gallop across Europe.
I would die within 15 minutes.
I was like looking at this, I was like, man, that sucks. It's like you're just on the horse all day, then you have to like sleep outside at night because there's not towns.
He doesn't have any music.
Yeah.
Any podcasts?
Doesn't have any podcasts.
No.
He's just talking to himself out there.
Oh, boring.
I know. So that does suck. I'm like so happy, and he's like smell like a horse. I'm really happy we live in modern times.
Oh, thank God. Whenever he went to that village and they were acting all crazy, I kind of didn't understand that.
I did like that because
You did or didn't?
I did because I think.
Can you explain what was like happening? I thought it was going to be more pivotal to the storyline.
I think for first and foremost, I think it did a really good job of like highlighting the foreignness of where he's at, which I think back, like, because Europe is like it's much closer to like America in the sense like geographically, but like you do have these very distinctive like countries and like regions with like their own history, and like people are very different. I think it was like really kind of highlighted the alienness and like difference of like where he was at
Yeah.
How foreign of a place he really was in when he got there.
Sure.
Everyone's strange. So it's like you don't have translations, you don't have internet. So like if you don't speak the language, you really just have to kind of like mime things and hope you can kind of get your point across.
Yeah.
I think like that was kind of maybe the emphasis, like is like him crossing over into like another like plane of existence. Like it's like another reality at that point.
Okay. And so he
And
gets there and they're all like making fun of him.
They are clowning on him pretty mercilessly.
They're clowning on him. Yeah. I would too. Shoot, you look at that stupid hat.
Yeah, 'cause I think it was just a Romani village. I think most people would probably say gypsy, but I think you're not supposed to say gypsy anymore. So I think it was like Romani, like travelers who have like lived in the shadow of like Orlok's castle, and so they kind of know all the rules to like vampirism, and like to like they mentioned like they mentioned like keep away with garlic. They killed that corpse, thinking that was maybe a thing. I don't know what the virgin on the horseback was supposed to do. Maybe like bait. Also, but it's on them. It's
so
like,
that scene was there to teach him, essentially,
or like more us,
or
like more us, the audience.
I see. Okay.
Because it's like if they were real homies, they would have like really laid it out for him. It's like, hey, you cannot go there. There is a monster that lives in the castle.
Right.
Not more like the vague. It's like, hey, there's bad things up there. Maybe you shouldn't go. But they should have really made their point.
I see. Okay, that makes a lot more sense because again, I was like waiting for that connection at the end.
And they stole his horse.
They did, those bitches.
Not doing anything to dissuade certain stereotypes.
Quentin.
What?
Okay, and so Lily Rose Depp, she's missing her man. She's still back.
She's crawling up the walls.
She's crawling up the walls. She's acting fucking real, dare I say, weird.
Codependent.
A little codependent. Like, yeah, queen, pick your crown up. You dropped it.
I know, because like I was feeling stressed for her friend a little bit.
Yes. Are you kidding me?
She was going through all these crazy seizures, but it's like, you need to be around me all the time.
Yes.
Because from there into things, like, yes, she's vindicated in the end, like, that her crazy visions are true, and like she was being possessed. But like, if you're just her friend, you probably think, my friend is crazy.
I was right there with her friend because again, I didn't know the storyline, and the opening scene I didn't realize was a thing that actually happened. I thought it was just a dream.
It did feel dreamy, like in the sense, like, and you don't know that till way down the line. It's like, oh, that wasn't, because I also felt that same way. I was like, oh, that was not.
No, because when I told you that, you got all mad at me because it says, you're like, it says years later, and I was like, well, I don't know. I thought maybe she dreamt it years ago.
I mean, I'm on your side now. You can dream things in the past and remember them.
Yes, exactly. I didn't realize that was an actual scene that happened.
You know what it needed? It needed a brief little thing of her either going to bed or like being in that house, like when it wasn't like all dreamy, because it was like it was too much. Like, it's night, you're alone, like. That in a horror, and especially in a horror movie, you don't know if that's supposed to be like reality or not.
Right, exactly.
We need just one little extra thing.
Right. And it's so funny, and I feel silly for not realizing. But then they kept like showing this like old man who's like all crazy, and he's like in this like weird psych ward, and he's like eating rats and shit. And I'm like, who gives a fuck about this guy? And then not until after the movie, you're like, no, that was Orlok's assistant who pretended to be his boss to like lure him.
He didn't even pretend. He was his boss.
Oh, he was his boss.
But like, that's like the Renfield
but
character.
Pretended to,
like from Dracula, right? He is like that's a familiar.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like that's his Renfield.
I literally was like, what is up with this guy?
Why are they spending so much time with this crazy person who has nothing to do with this movie?
Who gives a fuck? He's not hot. Yeah. Like, we don't. He's giving nothing.
Yeah.
And then later I was like, oh, he's giving everything.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, because again, I wasn't familiar with the storyline. And then looking back at that scene, the very beginning scene, I was like, oh yeah, he was acting real sus. And so, yeah, essentially my favorite scene, and I know we talked about this, my favorite scene was like where he was at the middle of the fork in the road.
He didn't cook as much as we wanted him to, Robert Eggers, the director, but man, he was cooking with that one shot.
That one shot was
at the crossroads.
Gorgeous.
Which is where traditionally you meet the devil. If you want to sell your soul for Rock and Roll Hall of fame, you go to the crossroads.
Oh. I go to Crossroads all the time, and they don't buy my shit there.
But that place is evil.
It is evil. They make me feel real bad when they don't buy my clothes.
It is hell. So it's like, yeah, it's like they're gonna like shame you and make you feel bad.
That's funny. I have this one friend. Every time I say something funny, she'll stop, and then she'll think, and then she'll be like, that could be a sketch. And I'm like, bitch, don't make it a sketch. I said it.
Yeah, it's just a funny anecdote.
Yeah, I was just going to say that could be a funny sketch to be like, go to Crossroads to meet the devil.
Yeah.
To sell your clothes.
Just to sell your clothes.
Yeah.
Or like your soul. It's just like, I could give you like credit.
I could give you store credit
Yeah.
or your soul, whatever one
This
you
soul's been around. That's not really in season right now.
want. This soul kind of smells.
Kind of busted.
This soul's from Forever 21. We don't buy that here.
Yeah, your soul's fast fashion.
Yeah. My soul would be fast fashion. All the times I get bullied online for my viral video of my
Yeah,
the years throughout my life.
Yeah.
I have, if you don't know this, I have this viral video that goes viral every year where me and my friend recreate the same photo every year. And then everyone comments being like, you guys just follow every trend. I'm like, yeah, loser. What the fuck? Why wouldn't I?
Yes.
I want to look cute every year.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, yeah, what do you think young people do? They follow trends. It's like, why do you think every guy has that dumb fucking haircut who's like under like 20 or like under 25 with the broccoli head of hair?
Broccoli head of hair.
And I know it's not a bunch of kids. Like all the kids are being born with curly hair now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's like, they're getting perms.
Did you ever get a perm?
Would I ever, or have I ever?
Well, would you?
I mean, yeah, to look young.
See?
To also look like I might be like a D1 athlete. hit my elf bar.
But anyways, so that one shot where he's at the crossroads and that carriage comes, oh my God, it was so beautiful when he kind of like floated into it. That's when I started being like, ooh, yes, this movie's about to get good. Like, I was like, there it is. There, I was like so excited. I was like gripping on my chair. I was gripping on, not the recliner because we didn't go to Universal, but I was gripping on the armrest. And yeah, and then he like goes into the house. It's all scary as shit. Big old castle.
It's good. It's atmospheric. We feel it. We're spooky.
It's very spooky. And I know this sounds silly, but I kind of didn't realize that he was talking to Nosferatu until like maybe the next day in the movie. Not like in my life, but like in the movie when it's like the next day.
You didn't know who he was talking to that night?
Because I was like, what's up with this crazy accent? I thought it was like his assistant or something.
Well, it's supposed to be like the part of the world like that's supposed to kind of sound.
No,
like...
I know it's historically accurate. It was just it is a silly voice.
Oh, I thought because I know what Nosferatu looks like, or like, you know, the original. I thought for sure he was wearing a mustache and he was in disguise. I thought he was doing that to like fuck with them.
That's what I'm saying. I also.
And it'd be like a big reveal when he took off the mustache.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's me.
Yeah, and it's like, because like, you know, my big problem with the mustache is like vampires are so mouth focused. Like what's scary about them, so, how they like feed and all. It's like you want to see the teeth. You want to see like the thing like, and like he's got like weird leech teeth. You know, it's like they're like sharp and needle like. Guess what? They're fucking covered up.
Yes, and then imagine him sucking blood. It's gonna be all in his mustache.
Getting all the mustache, getting all crusty.
It's gonna get all crusty.
That's why he can like do the little points, you know.
He doesn't need pomade.
Yeah, he's like he slicks it back. He looks too much like our friend.
We have a friend that has a handlebar mustache just like him, and the whole time I was like, "This is."
Yeah.
It was distracting.
Same hair.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Once.
Shh. We can't be giving our friends secrets away. We gotta edit this out. He's gonna be pissed. He's gonna Orlock our ass.
Yeah, what?
But anyways, that's why I'm saying I thought it was like an assistant or something because this guy was rolling his R's like there was no tomorrow. He had a big old mustache. Yep. To me, he looked a little silly.
He had them big old like Cynthia Erivo hands though.
That's not very nice, Quentin. That is not very nice.
She got Hulk hands.
You don't know that.
That she does not have Hulk hands?
She's very petite. So maybe her hands are actually normal. But they look big compared to her small
I just
frame.
remember when he's at the dinner table, like, you know, they did do a cool thing of the trick where he looks and he looks over and like all of a sudden like the hands like right there.
Yeah.
And he got the like long, like sharp nails.
Yeah.
I was like Wicked.
Thomas is Ariana Grande.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just wants to be popular.
Thomas is popular. He's got the normal life.
Yeah, so until the next day, like, yeah, when there's that jump scare, I was like, oh wait, is that Nosferatu? Like, I was just like so confused. But kind of, honestly, kind of romantic, because he lured him in just to kind of get his marriage annulled, right?
Yeah, it turns out he had this big legal, which is, hey, why you're always supposed to read terms and conditions. That's the lesson right there.
Oh my God, that's literally why I didn't know that I had that audition, that callback where I had all these lines, because I did not read the whole thing where it was like, you have sides now.
Yeah, he just took this weird guy who's in this house by himself. He says he's got servants. You didn't see any servants.
That's true.
And he's just like, yeah, this is the contract. You should sign it.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Literally an idiot. But, it was pretty dark in there, and they only had a few candles, so maybe he just like couldn't see.
Back then. Well, but I think maybe people's eyes were used to that. Back then you had no
That's true.
electricity. That's his
so
life.
True. That's so true. Oh my God. That's so true. I was like, I can't see a damn thing in here, but I was like, I guess their eyes adjust.
And also, to your point, I think a lot of women would agree with you, and that's what's fucked up. That's why it's hard to know what women want. Like, there's this crazy stalker ass behavior. He tricks someone into annulling his marriage, and then goes across the country to find her.
That's the bare minimum. That's what every man. How are you as a man not gonna have a castle and trick a man to come to get your marriage annulled so that he could be with that girl he hooked up with once?
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about him cheating on that girl with her man?
He just sucked his blood.
He sucked him.
His blood?
He was naked.
Well, the clothes are in the way.
Of his clothes?
Okay, when I'm sucking someone's blood, I gotta move the clothes.
Yeah. Because I know Nicholas Holt's clothes were on, but Nosferatu just like stripped down naked. He had to get real in the clothes.
He needed to see what he was competing with.
His competition. I've got the better body.
And that really pissed me off, the rolling of the R's. Like, it was like really distracting. The mustache was really distracting. The accent was really distracting. And again, it's historically accurate. It is accurate. So I'm not just being like, oh, they just threw some shit on the wall to see what stuck. It just was distracting to me.
Do you think people are calling Count Orlok Nosferatu like a bisexual icon already?
Oh, he would be. He kind of would be.
Because he did not seem into Nicholas Holt.
He could be a bi king.
Or unless that was like his way of being closer to his wife. Like, essentially like fucking her husband to be closer to her.
Or opposite. He was trying to get to Thomas.
Well, he could have kept Thomas at the castle then.
No, he escaped.
He wouldn't travel.
Tried a little harder.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, and that's when Thomas realizes some shit's going on. And that kind of was just, I didn't understand that too, because I knew that he was sucking on his blood. And by the way, I hated how loud he was gulping. Get it.
He was snarfing on that blood.
He literally might as well be working at 7-Eleven, because those were big gulps.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, ew. Like, I get it. It's like body horror.
He was taking that thing down to the base.
And his like body was moving with it.
He's putting his back into it.
Oh, he broke his back.
Yeah. he was trying to tell Lily Rose Depp, this is how you do it.
Watch me, bitch.
Yeah. You're the whole time, and guess what? The whole time Thomas gets back, he was thinking of him.
It was so true. Oh my God, literally that's the lesson.
Yeah. every time you're in bed with him, he's going to be thinking of me.
He is a Viking.
Yeah.
He has to be.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense otherwise.
The first great bi representation of 2025.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. And so with the Lily Rose Depp acting nuts, I didn't realize that she was possessed. I kind of was just kind of questioning, like, what is going on with her? You know, she's being all fucking scary. And then I kind of hated that she kept, like, moaning. But I guess later I found out that's because he was essentially pleasuring her from afar, right?
Yeah, he was, like, manipulating her.
I just thought that was a weird choice on her end. I was like, why does she keep sounding like she's having an orgasm?
I do think this is kind of romantic, speaking of like when she was possessed, because I think I read the scene differently at first, but then I kind of reassessed it. When she's talking to Thomas while kind of being possessed, he's like, you can never, please me like him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was talking to Thomas about Orlok. I think she was talking to Orlok because she knew he was being possessed by him, and then that's why she is telling Thomas that he's like the best, and like that's why she is like, take me, and then like I want him to see our love. When he starts like
that makes
going
sense.
in, it's like, I mean, that's kind of nice for this. Kudos for Thomas then.
That would make sense. I almost thought like she was saying it's. I mean, obviously possessed by Orlok, but she was saying to Thomas like, you can never please me like how Orlok has, and then he's just like, oh yeah, let's
bet.
I'll show you. Ew! I'll show you. Okay, but I do like that. That kind of makes sense, and that would make more sense for why he was just like, oh, that's so romantic that you said that.
Yeah, like kind of like to piss off him, to piss off the Count.
Okay, I think that's maybe why I wasn't crazy about Lily Rose Depp's performance, because I just like didn't see the contrast of things. Like I just feel like she was crazy from the get. Maybe if she played more like whatever character she wanted to be, like a meek or like a strong woman, whatever, and then kind of see that crazy side. But I'm like, we've been seeing crazy the whole time.
Okay. Also, speaking of gross romance, Aaron Taylor Johnson, eventually loses his wife.
Yes.
To the Count. Also great. One of the other only scary parts, like truly scary parts of the movie, was when the Count arrives in Germany, breaks in, and like drinks them kids.
Dude, that was so sad.
He like shotguns them, like because he drank.
He
drank them so bad. He
like
and spiked one.
That scene was the scariest scene.
Because you just never kid death is always kind of jarring.
And it was just creepy because it's like you don't actually even see him doing it. You just see the shadow of it.
You let your mind fill in the blanks.
And he just drops them.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Yeah. So that was great. But I do like gross romance that Aaron Taylor Johnson could never resist his wife. So she didn't matter that she was already buried in the mausoleum. He caught the plague. He had to go in for one last little quickie.
Yeah, he literally said in the beginning of the movie, because we talked about this.
Yeah.
He didn't even realize that he was having sex with her in the coffin. There was the scene where in the beginning he was like, I just can't resist my wife. And so in the next scene is like after they meet Willem Dafoe with all his cats and shit, and he's essentially going to be like the vampire hunter for Thomas. They see his friend on top of his dead wife, and he's dead too, and her legs are like open, and you were just like, no, he's just laying down with her. I was like, what world?
Why is his ass not out?
That is what you said. You did say that.
You think he just like unzipped and pulled it through the hole?
You're so fucking stupid. Because
that happened twice in the movie. Because when Nicholas Hoult did it, his ass also didn't come out. Why are all these guys scared to show their butts?
Quentin, I think you're the real bi king here.
Why are you being shy now? They're both being real shy. They're both just like kind of pulling it down.
And that was like another thing too, like that I realized later that, his friend didn't even like actually love his wife. He was just lustful for her. Hence why he had sex with her while she was dead. And like Thomas and Ellen had like the real deal, and he still jeopardized it because he was just trying to be like his rich friend.
So you don't think that was romantic?
Quentin?
That was the ultimate wife guy move.
No.
I love my hot, dead, curvy wife.
Stop. Right now. You're making me ill.
We've even talked about like one of the best parts of the movie, which is like Willem Dafoe and the guy playing the head of the sanatorium.
Oh, right.
He because he's a Robert Eggers player. He was in The Witch.
Who was he in The Witch? The Witch.
The dad.
Oh, I didn't even realize his voice was crazy in The Witch.
He's got such a naturally deep voice.
And speaking of that, I did not realize, I totally forgot that Bill Skarsgård was in this movie. And then not till the very end of the movie, I was like, oh my God, that was Bill Skarsgård the whole time. So I would say that is a good testimony to Bill Skarsgård, that I completely forgot that was him.
Dude's just like, he's like a more handsome version of Doug Jones. He's like a great creature actor. Like he does like a lot with Guillermo del Toro.
I
Like,
see.
He like kind of tall, very slender, but yeah, like Bill Skarsgård looks like he could just like be a normal actor, but he keeps getting these like great spooky roles.
Oh, he's so good.
But Ralph Ineson, because he was in The Witch, he was also in The Northman, which I don't know if you remember, and now this movie. So that's like 3 of Robert Eggers' 4 movies.
He's great.
He's great. And I love when a director like finds that somebody. Same with like Willem Dafoe now, because post The Lighthouse, his second film, Willem Dafoe has also been in 3 of his 4 movies.
I actually haven't seen The Lighthouse, which is surprising because I love both those actors.
I would put Lighthouse above this one. I put.
Oh, is it spooky?
Yeah, it's like more like cosmic horror, but
How did I not know this?
I don't know, but I would put The Lighthouse and The Witch in the same tier, and I would put like
Whoa.
Northman and Nosferatu in the same tier, which are all good movies, but like there's levels.
I literally thought The Lighthouse was like some boring ass movie for like old white men.
But I thought you would like the draw for you, like in the ladies, there's like you got Robert Pattinson.
For sure.
Wouldn't that be enough?
Yeah, I wanted to. I just didn't even know what the story was about, and I was like, oh, is it just about 2 guys in a lighthouse?
Yeah, that was it. That's the whole movie. 2 guys just broing out in a lighthouse.
Yeah. Yeah, broing out.
There's buds.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happens.
I don't know. But you're right. I would really want to see that, and you really sold me on it. So maybe I will go see it. So yeah, all this crazy shit's happening.
Willem Dafoe pops up as like the, essentially like the kind of like my master's master kind of thing, where so you have the head of like Ralph Ineson's character, the head of like the sanatorium. It's like, well, this guy who taught me, like he got kicked out because he like believed in all this occult stuff, but he's like one of the most brilliant men I know. He's like kind of like the Van Helsing character from Dracula.
Right. No, yeah, that's what I gathered he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Great, super fun, a lot of fun lines from Willem Dafoe.
Okay, and maybe this is controversial, but that's actually kind of when I started checking out a little bit.
Really?
I was that's the hour that I was talking about that I was kind of dragging a little bit.
Do you want him like there sooner?
I think he should have been there way sooner.
You could probably combine the characters.
Sure.
Of the guy in charge of like the hospital into just one, just to save the time of like going out to find him.
It's a long movie, right? It's like 3 hours.
No, it's not 3 hours. It's not The Brutalist.
How long is it?
But it's like easy to.
I think it's like 2.5 hours.
2.5.
I'm gonna look it up.
2:10.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's something crazy.
2:10. It's not a short movie. It was not. We didn't.
No, but I also think it was over 2 hours.
Let's say 2:10. I'm gonna go with 2:10.
Okay, is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Is that your Price is Right answer? I'm gonna say 2:40. I just lost. I lost my trip to the Bahamas.
I know. So what was the final answer?
The final answer is 2:12.
Wow. I'm going to the Bahamas.
Damn it! You took my Bahamas. You took my Bahamas and my washing machine.
Yeah. Me and Willem Dafoe.
So yeah, I was dragging a little bit. I was kind of getting tired. I was also like a little hungover because we had a lot of eggnog the night prior. So it's maybe not fair for me to say I was getting like tired and bored.
No, I know. I kind of agree with you because I've heard now from like the cast and the director, like they wanted to like also because they allude to it briefly in the sense that he partially wanted to go there, yes, for Lily Rose Depp, but also because they don't have the same superstitions, basically mean protections that he has in like the old country. So like people are aware of him like in like Transylvania, but German, like it's supposed to be around the Enlightenment time, so people are starting to trust in medicine and like the power of like reason, and so they wouldn't be more susceptible to like the influence of a powerful vampire like coming over to like essentially control all of Europe.
Yeah.
And I don't think we got enough of that because like ultimately the timeline is he gets to Wiesberg, he's there for like 3 fucking days. That's it. That's not enough time to wreak like a reign of terror or like any kind of havoc. Yes, there's the plague, but it needed to be more drawn out. I needed him to see him going out into the city, picking people off. Really,
I agree.
In their minds, they just went through like a pandemic, and then it went away. Like there's nothing supernatural about that to them.
Right.
I wanted more supernatural.
I want more supernatural and more rats, honestly.
Yeah, I do appreciate them using real rats though.
I hope the rats were okay though.
That's like Hollywood. There's like there's literally like rat trainers. Like if there's an animal in a movie, there's like a person that's like supposed to be there taking care of it. So I love the idea of like there's this like a couple weird freaks. Like they're like I'm the rat wrangler. I work with them. These are
rat wrangler.
These are my hundreds of rats.
I did do a commercial once with a dog, and it made me really sad whenever I didn't realize that it wasn't just like a random dog that like had to audition. That it was like, no, they keep them in these like training centers, and I was like, oh, that's so sad.
Well, I mean, I think they're probably.
I'm sure they treat them well, but poor thing.
They keep them in a hype house for dogs.
It was kind of sad because he was like a really big, thick dog, and you could tell he was thirsty, but they couldn't give him water because then he'd be drooling everywhere.
Oh, like one of those.
And so
cows.
like I was just like, damn, we'll make this shot happen. You could tell he's thirsty. It was sad. It was
Okay,
sad.
that's
So
sad.
I hope those rats had plenty of water.
Plenty of water.
Plenty of water on set.
For all these thirsty rats.
I totally agree. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen more of the consequences of the plague, him roaming around. Because, like, yeah, the best and the scary parts were, the visuals of, the crossroads, the kids dying, all that.
I want the town to be as afraid of him as the Romani village was.
Yes.
No one was ever afraid of Nosferatu.
Yes, I agree. I agree
so
completely.
if you're gonna make that a point of emphasis, but I will say, like, I wanted more of like that style of like, man, the other big cooking director moment. I was kind of spoiled by the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
The hand going out across the town. Mm-hmm. Great shot. Love that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I mean, all about it.
Beautiful. Big hand. It's not Cynthia. Okay, let me hear you do Orlok singing Defying Gravity.
And here I am, defying gravity.
Gravity.
And no wizard that ever was, is ever going to bring me down.
Okay, now do the... Not bad. You can't roll your R's though.
I cannot.
It's because you haven't been stretching your tongue.
It's because I suffer from an over saturation of caucasity.
Okay, whatever.
I'm too white to roll my R's. I would love to roll my R's. I can only do the machine gun sound, which makes me think I can kind of do. I don't know what the thing is that.
Yeah, just do what you did, but don't clench your teeth. Don't choke.
Bursted like a vein in my neck.
Yeah. And then Lily Rose Depp realizes, man, I love my man so much. I don't want this guy to this vampire to ruin everything. And she sacrificed herself.
I know. She was very noble. Like, in Willem Dafoe's like, yeah, you would have been a priest in another life.
Right. And I didn't even realize that's what she was doing. I was like, oh my God, this bitch is cheating on her man. Again, I was just kind of lost. But maybe that's a me thing. The book. Yeah, it's a me thing.
The book kind of explains it.
The book explains it. Also, I was a little hungover. Hungover on that heavy nog.
You were knocked out.
I was nog out.
Knocked out.
Mama said nog you out.
I'll be up in that AMC knocked the fuck out.
And then he was doing his gulpy thing. And then when she was just like, no, keep going, I was just like, damn, bitch. Like, I didn't realize she was sacrificing herself.
I didn't feel that though. Like, I didn't, because the whole point is she's supposed to be so intoxicating to him that he disregards, like, like being
that the sun's coming up.
Yeah, I didn't feel the urgency. I didn't feel like the desperation, like it's like, or like the disregard for his own well-being to stay there. It just felt like it was more like he's like,
yeah, he was just like,
kind of looked up, was like, oh shit.
Hey, maybe you as a man, you can relate.
I mean, yeah, that's often been a complaint. I just be going down on ladies too long.
No regard to the sun.
Yeah, with no regard to when the sun comes up. Ladies, get your man who's willing to wait until the cock crows before he comes up for air.
Ladies, get yourself a man who would rather blow up into dust.
Turn into dust.
Than to stop fucking going down there.
Snarfing on you.
Doing a little snarf, doing a fucking 7-Eleven big gulp on you.
Yeah. And then again, it bugged me with the mustache. He looks up, because he has a pretty good death.
Yeah.
Like, scary. You see the fangs, you see like the blood running out of his eyes, but then there's that stupid fucking mustache is getting in the way.
It just doesn't make sense. He's a rotting corpse, but why does
Who takes excellent care of his mustache.
No skincare.
He's got 3 wispy hairs on top of his head still. I saw him combing it over. Even he's self-conscious about it. Even he's still kind of like, I still got it.
Does not care that his skin is falling off his
Yeah.
fucking bones.
But that
He needs that thick mustache.
he needs that thick ass mustache.
At least make the mustache like shitty or something.
It is a shitty.
Something. It just doesn't make sense.
It's Germany. Maybe to fit with the fashion of the times, he like kind of takes it on both the sides and just leaves like a little bit underneath his nostrils.
I don't know about that.
What? They're both bad guys. I'm saying he was supposed to look like Hitler. For those listening,
I think maybe too. I kind of went in with high expectations of the movie, and I could see myself rewatching it and liking it.
I think we love because we love horror movies so much that we sometimes when there's a good one that's coming out there we have a natural propensity to like build it up.
Yes, exactly, and especially with the cast, the director.
I wanted to be like floating out of that theater afterward.
Exactly. I didn't leave with an impression. I didn't leave being like, whoa, like I was thinking about it, but maybe for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Like I was like thinking, well, that didn't make sense. And then we talked it out and then it made sense to me. You know, I wasn't like, I was like, whoa, that scene stayed with me.
We keep talking about like, we're disappointed in the sense we like a lot in this movie. There's a ton of scenes that are really good, but somehow when you add them all up, I'm just left wanting. Mm-hmm. And that's always a bummer.
Exactly.
It's like it's the difference between like a 4-star movie or a 5-star.
Yeah, it was a 4-star
movie. It's a really solid 4-star movie, but damn it if we didn't want that 5.
Ugh, could have so easily been a 5.
I know.
It could have been my favorite movie of the year, honestly.
Yeah.
But I would still say The Substance is probably my favorite movie of the year because it was just like so unexpected, and personally to me everything was just executed beautifully.
I'm still actually I still have not had a movie beat Substance. And I thought for sure at one point it was going to be Long Legs, but man, I think it's The Substance.
Yeah. Long Legs, I like could not wait. And again, I kind of went in with like really high expectations, so I could find myself if I rewatched, I bet I would.
I think I'm putting that also in the 4 not 5 category.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where I loved it, but it's still like a 4-star movie.
The ending of Long Legs was so lackluster to me.
Yeah.
An off-screen death. Okay.
Yeah,
I could watch CSI for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like all this build up for nothing. And then we saw his face too soon. Yeah. Also, Orlok, maybe we saw his face a little too soon too. Because we see him in that first scene.
Oh, true. Yeah, with the little jump scare.
The little jump scare when he was fucking...
naked also that time.
When he was giving it to her.
He loves to get naked.
As most men with mustaches do.
Yeah. Mustache men, you're on notice. We know what you're about now.
We know what's going on. We know what's about to happen.
Yeah, the mere hint that you can draw, you will.
And it's funny because our friend who does have a mustache,
he likes to perform.
He's always naked.
He always gets naked in his sketches.
Let's bleep out his name later so we can keep talking shit.
Yeah.
All right. I would say that is probably the end of our episode. If you were to give it, you said 4 out of 5 stars, but in your little Quentin rating way, how would you rate it? Like 4 big gulps out of 5?
Yeah, in the past, I've done the thing where I just don't want to like worry too much about like what I actually rated things, so I'd always just give things 5 out of 5 to be. New year, new system. So I'm gonna give this 4 out of 5 snarfs.
Okay. I think for Adri Tomatoes, I'm gonna give this an 89 rotten dead wives to fuck.
Pretty good. It's a lot of dead wives. Gotta get busy. Better sip a Gatorade beforehand.
Stop.
You got some work to do.
Stop it. All right, guys. If you agree with us, comment below, message us, threaten us, whatever you want.
We love threats, actually.
We love a good threat. Yeah. It's very up our valley.
Be creative.
Be creative, yes.
Really stretch that imagination.
Yeah, think about how you want to threaten us. If you guys want to hear about something else horror related that you want to hear us talk about, comment below, send us a message. Again, you could threaten us.
Part of 2025 is we love horror movies, but we don't want to be just that.
Yeah, we could do other horror stuff, any LA related
Trust me,
horror
life
stuff.
is full of horrible things, and we are happy to explore them.
Yes. All right. Well, that's been our time, and have a lovely gulping night.
Yeah, I hope you.
That was bad.
I hope you get. I hope all you lovely people get snarfed tonight.
Ladies.
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 If you're getting snarfed, comment below.
Yeah.
Comment while it's happening.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Put it on the background.
All right. Bye.
Bye.